Hi, I'm Alice Stolpning, CEO of Wisary. What we're going to do today, we're going to define our requirements for the prototype for the product we're going to build. But before we jump into how to do it, really quick reminder of what are the requirements and why are we doing it to start with. So as you all know, building becomes much easier with AI, whether this is building your prototype by vibe coding it or whether you're hiring engineers to actually build your real product. Even for them, it is much easier to build. What becomes even more important is actually deciding what to build and why. And this is the role of a product requirement document, or PRD, that we're going to create today. Throughout the evolution of the product, there are different stages where you will need a requirement document. The stage you are at now, you have idea, you validated the idea on the business side, you want to build a prototype, you want to validate the product. So at this phase, we're going to define the requirements for our prototype. What is this prototype going to do? And more importantly, what is it not going to do? Once you're done with that and you validate your product, and let's say you're ready to move on to actually going and building it, you'll have another iteration of product requirements, of defining what will it actually take to ship the real product. And once you've done that and you have a product out in the market and customers using it, you'll keep iterating on it. And every feature you're going to add, you're going to have a different variation of requirement document for that specific feature. How do you add more functionality to the product that you already have in the market? Each one of the stages is going to require a slightly different PRD, or product requirement document, but the idea is the same. What PRD is helping you is to think through what is this product that needs to be built and communicate these ideas and your vision to whoever is building it, whether this is AI or human engineers. So with that, let's jump into that and let's actually start creating our requirement document. We're going to click on the PRD, which stands for Product Requirement Document. And you'll see a few templates here. As I mentioned, for different scenarios, different phases of your product, you're going to choose a different template. For our case, we have an idea, we want to prototype it. So we're going to choose idea to prototype template. Here I'm going to provide the name of my project, of my product, of my feature. And I'll be working on a transcription bot for real life events. Right, the first step is providing context. Maybe you already have some documentation about the idea that you're working on. If you have any context at all, you can always just upload it. You can upload a PDF, you can paste it as a plain text. Maybe you have a transcription from a conversation you had with somebody about your project. Anything you have, feel free just to kind of drop it here, any format, anything works. If you don't have anything written, we'll just answer a few questions to kind of extract that context to make it available for AI to help us down the road. In my case, I don't have anything written, so I'll just answer a few questions. So I described the problem that I want to solve, and on a high level, a few bullet points, I'm going to provide some context about how I'm thinking about solving it. In reality, I probably want to provide a little bit more information, but for the sake of this example, this is going to be good enough. All right, so this is the first step when AI is going to help me. Wisary is going to walk me section by section, step by step throughout the template that I just chose. And the first section is going to be goals and hypothesis. It's going to analyze everything it already knows, all the context I already provided, and draft something. You can see here on the left side, this is just a starting point. This is, AI is never perfect. It doesn't have all the context yet, so we're going to work on that. But then AI did something more interesting. It also tried to analyze what does it not know and what information does it need from me to help me refine the specific document section. So here we're talking about goals and hypotheses. I'm going to read it, I'm going to review it, maybe manually edit and kind of fine tune what we have here. And then I'm going to look at the questions that Wisary came up with, and I'm going to see what information can I provide to provide more information about these goals and hypotheses to the system. So for example, which specific in-person situations is this prototype meant to validate first? And we want to prioritize. We're doing prototypes, so we want to narrow it down as much as possible to ideally validate one or two hypotheses that are kind of the most specific and the most important for us. Once I answer the question, or maybe a few questions, I'm going to click apply. So Wisary suggested me how to refine my section based on the answer I just provided. I can click approve, or I can click approve and review. If I click approve and review, AI will review again this section and will try to come up with new questions to ask. I'll click just approve in this case. I still have a few more questions to go through. I don't have to answer all of them. If any of them seems that I don't care about it, or I don't have the answer yet, I can always come back here later. If I don't want to answer the questions, but I want to see what else AI can come up with, whether like any other areas I should be thinking of, I can always click review again, and it's going to replace these questions with different ones. So we can see like there's some new questions that I'm going to review, I'm going to answer, I'm going to apply the answers. As a result, this section of goals and hypotheses is going to be complete, correct. I thought through everything that goes in here, and the moment I'm comfortable, I'm going to move forward to the next section. Next section is target user. As a reminder, we're working on requirements for our prototype. So we want to narrow down, ideally only think about one user and validate the product with that user. It means that in reality, you may have multiple prototypes, and each one of them is going to have their own requirement document targeting these different users, different use cases. So here I'm going to define who is my user for this specific prototype. As I mentioned, I'll answer as many questions as I want. I don't have to answer all of them, but I do want to answer some. The goal here is to help me slow down, think, and actually make sure that whatever requirements I end up with are the requirements of the product that I want to build, and not something that AI just hallucinated. So I'm going to answer a few questions here, and once I'm ready, we'll move to the next step. Here, did not do a good job. I did not answer the question. That's why Wisary is yelling at me. I should have, but we're in the demo, so that's fine. User narrative. This section defines on the high level how is this prototype, how is this product going to behave, and how the users are going to experience it. So again, I'm going to work on it. I'm going to refine it manually by answering questions. If I have a thought that is not covered by any of these questions, but I have like some idea like, oh, like this is not here, but it should be, I can always just manually edit it, or I can provide this feedback in the free form. And same idea, I'll click apply, and Wisary will help me update this section given my input. Once I'm done with the user narrative, I'll move to the scope, and then we'll get to the functional requirements, which is the core of it. All right, so scope, super important for a prototype. We want to keep the scope as narrow as possible. And it is very important to call out what's in scope, but even more important to call out what's out of scope. Right now, this is going to be the input for our AI to vibe code the prototype. In future, that would be input for the engineers to build the right product. We want to make sure that neither of them is wasting their time or tokens on something we don't need them to build. So super important, identify what's in scope, what's out of scope. And once we have that, we're going to move to the functional requirements section that is going to actually define the details of what our prototype is going to do. All right, so once we're on functional requirements, the idea behind it is the same. AI drafted the requirements for us. You'll notice the format is different. You're going to have the list of requirements here, and you can expand each one of them to see what that specific requirement is about. And then AI also reviewed it to identify what's missing. When I'm clicked into specific requirements, you'll notice that the question on the right are about this specific requirement. So the moment I answer them, they're going to update this specific requirement. And let's do that. So we're talking about start in-person recording. What should happen the first time the user taps record if microphone access is not yet granted? So that's kind of the onboarding experience that we should probably define. So I answered this question. I'm going to click apply. By the way, I could answer all the questions at once if I wanted to and click apply once. That also works. I'll review it. If this looks good, I'm going to approve or click approve and review. Cool. So this requirement is updated. I can keep working on that, or I can move to a different one. For this one, for example, stop recording and finalize session. What should happen immediately after the user taps stop? Should the session end instantly, or should the app show confirmation? And maybe I'll answer another question or two. If saving or processing fails after stop is tapped, what behavior do you want the prototype? Retry, keep local audio affiliated processing. Remember, this is just a prototype, so we probably just want to notify the user and not worry about actually handling failures. I'm going to apply these two answers, and Wisary will help me update this specific requirement with a new input. So here we have it. I'm going to approve it. Cool. So you can see this requirement became yellow, means like we addressed most of the most important questions. I can keep going, or I can move to the next requirement. Once I'm done working on each one of the requirements individually, I'm going to step back for a second. I'll click on the header of the function requirements to see the entire list. And here on the right, Wisary came up with some questions that will help me identify requirements that may still be missing. For example, when a recording is saved, what identifying context should the user be able to attach or review? So let's say person name is the only thing that we care about. I'm going to add this requirement. All right, you can see the new requirement is added here. I'll read it, I'll review it, I'll answer a few questions to refine it. And what's next? So let's say I worked on all the requirements. I'm happy with this section. I'm going to click preview document. Here on the left, I see my final document compiled. I can copy it, I can take it to my Google Docs, Notion, Confluence, whatever environment, directly to Lovable, whatever environment I want this document to live in. I can also export document to Notion. If I connect Notion to Wisary, the documents can live there. But basically, now I have my full requirement document that I'm ready to take to my favorite vibe coding tool to go and actually build it. On the right side, you can see some insights based on the answers I provided and some gaps that I should probably still work on before going and building this prototype. All right, so what did we see? We saw the process of getting from idea and some rough thoughts to a very detailed and specific requirement document that now I can take and to my favorite vibe coding tool and go and build a prototype from. Once I'm happy with that and decide to actually go and build the product for real, I'll come back, I'll take this requirement, and I'm going to create a new variation of a requirement document that will include additional details that engineers actually need to go and build the right product. But that's for the next session.